Hi, Kyle and Becky here with you, and we have stop laughing. You're not helping me.
Kyle and Becky here.
Coming at you from the state of Arkansas. Like we're news people or something. I did this one time.
Coming at you
I
from.
remember doing
We're doing the storm review. It's cold out there.
In junior high, I did this once in junior high.
Tell the people about that.
I was a pretend newscaster.
Really?
In my class, yeah, it was me and Robert Hubbard.
Yeah.
And Christy.
The dentist.
Keith.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. And I remember we went to Robert's house and we had to like each pretend to be this person or this role. Anyway.
I remember whenever.
This reminds me of that.
Whenever Tony Russell, shout out, he and I in Coach Bishop's class had to do a video on the consequences of drugs, and so we made up all these pretend ways that people die from drugs, like, and we pretended we were like jumping off roofs because we were so depressed and suicidal. Then we had a point where we were in the car driving and we wrecked, and we like, it was so ridiculous. But anyway, yeah. Good
story.
Thanks.
Does this remind you of that? Having a camera like looking at you?
Well, no, it reminded me of your story of how you were a newscaster. Pretend newscaster.
Right.
So, Becky, what are we doing here? Why are we talking to these people? Why are we talking on YouTube? Why are we doing all this?
That is a great question, Kyle. Thank you for that. We are doing this to help provide information. Sometimes you dig deeply to find information for yourself, and then you want to share with other people what you have kind of discovered so they don't have to do all that searching. However, in this case, we think it would be a good idea for you to do additional research since we definitely don't have all the answers.
Yes. And what are we even talking about? What is it that we're even digging into?
We are talking about our journey through learning more about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and mining and all of those interesting terms and things.
There's so many crazy terms in this that if a person, it's like algebra, so if you miss one term or whatever, one equation, you're just completely lost in the whole scheme of things. And so just to start off with, Becky and I are going to tell you our story. About 3 months ago, well, first of all, I'm a merchandise buyer, and whenever you have a career, you usually devote like one portion of your brain to that career at all times. So it's just like this portion of my brain's just turning and thinking about good investments. And whenever I look at things, I'm like looking at it through the filter of, is that a good investment? I don't know, that sort of thing. And so whenever I started to hear about Bitcoin, it just fascinated me because, just earlier this year, it was at $700. And then at some point this year, it got up to $19,000. And about 3 months ago, I started really doing some research. And on November 15th, Becky agreed to allow us to invest, not to say that I couldn't choose on my own, right? But Becky allowed us to make our first purchase for some Bitcoin. And at that point, it was at $7,500. And since then, it grew up to $19,000, and now it's down around 13 to 15 in that range. That's been kind of going up and down in that range. But it's fascinating, this whole experience in learning all this. And so this is to help inform you guys so that you can kind of know what you're getting into. And it's a super dangerous and something that you have to be very careful of because it's so different. It's this totally new learning that you have to gain to be a part of it. There's only a few resources out there that make it very simple. And so we'll be sharing those with you if you are looking to get invested into Bitcoin and that sort of thing. But I'll let Becky answer this question because I feel like this is one of the most important questions that people have. Should they invest in Bitcoin? Or should they consider it? Or should they research? Or should they just not even pay attention, and just let it go? What's your thoughts on it? Just honest.
Oh, goodness. For those that don't know me, or you might know me but not know how I am a very particular person about certain things, and I like things that are safe, things that can be depended upon, things that aren't going to fail, things that you can trust, and I don't just fall into schemes very easily or willingly. And so when he came to me with the thought of Bitcoin and all that was involved with it, first of all, I had no idea what he was really talking about, and secondly, I really had no interest to know what he was talking about because it's so out there. I don't know, it's not something you can hold and see, and it doesn't seem like something that is safe or
it's
trustworthy,
super risky.
And so it's like, no thanks. But he did a lot of research. Like he said, he researched it, he looked into it, he talked to me about the things he looked at, and he kind of gave me some more information about it. And I don't know that convinced necessarily is the right word, because there's still, I don't think anyone can just know for sure of it.
Absolutely.
Potential
security, like it's safe, it's
right.
Totally never gonna lose.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but it seemed like something that was one of those things that you could try and it could end up being amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could try and it would end up being terrible.
Right.
So it kind of went either way, and I kind of just went with it. Like kind of what he showed me seemed like, okay, it seems like it could work out and it could be a good deal. And so based on all that, we decided that it was a good thing for us to try.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that it's something everyone should try
right.
or everyone would want to try.
Mm-hmm.
I would just encourage you, if it is something that you're interested in, don't just dive into doing it automatically, but look into it, see what other people are saying about it, get more information about it, because if you're serious and it is something that you want to do, then I feel like you should be willing to take the time to make sure it's something that's okay for you.
Absolutely. Well said. And so the whole idea that really convinced me on it, or as far as us being willing to take that step to invest our hard-earned resources and cash into this, is the risk versus reward. Our family, we have margin to be able to invest a tiny bit, and it's like if we invest a tiny bit and it doesn't affect us in a positive way, and if we ended up losing it, it wouldn't kill us. We wouldn't be out on the street or anything, and
we'd be at Nana and Papa's house.
We would be at Nana and Papa's house, but thankfully they have a basement that we can fit in. So, but the potential upside to it, a lot of people, there's only 21 Bitcoin that are ever going to be produced. Right now, there's over 16 million in circulation. So, 4.5 million more Bitcoin that are going to be released in the market ever. And, the real turning point for me, that I was like, Becky, I think that there's something here, is I stumbled across a YouTube video. It felt like an underground video, and this guy was talking about how he worked with Amazon and how he went to the blockchain summit, which blockchain is basically like the foundation that drives Bitcoin and the transactions and, kind of the whole structure of it or whatever. Yeah, sorry. But he was at the blockchain summit, and he was there on behalf of Amazon, and he explained that in spring of 2018, Amazon was going to accept Bitcoin as currency to be able to purchase things. And my whole thought process is, this could be totally fake news. This guy could be crazy. This guy could not be telling the truth. But then there was this moment of ka-ching. Wait a second. What if we just stumbled across this little video? This guy had like 11,000 subscribers or something like that. Can't talk correctly, but what if Amazon was really going to accept Bitcoin as payment? What does that mean, Becky? What does that mean to you? Why would that be something that we would want to pay attention to? What do you think?
Because Amazon is so giant, and if they start accepting Bitcoin, it will become more popular. Is that the right answer?
True. Yes. So because the way cryptocurrency works is, the more people that get involved, the more the value increases of the currency, because the only value that this digital currency has, this transaction, this number, because all Bitcoin is it's a number. It's a 1.0000000. It's 8 zeros, just a number. And so then there's this, of course, security that transitions that number to another account. There's all sorts of complexities with that. But as far as the raw data to data, it's just a number. And what Bitcoin's value comes from is how much people are willing to pay for that number. And there's only 21 million ever going to come into the market. So if Amazon starts to accept it, for one, it said to me, if Amazon is a company that's willing to accept a currency that could go down in value, that seems like a very, very foolish thing for a company to be willing to do. If they really believe that Bitcoin, they're betting on Bitcoin, would go down in value, that would be foolish for a company to do. And so I know better than that. I think you know better than that. Amazon's not a dumb company. They're looking to make profit. And so that says that they believe that Bitcoin, the value will go up. So the more Bitcoin that they could get, the higher the value is. Now, don't get me wrong. This stuff is all speculation. They could be hiring a company that gives them money for Bitcoin, where Bitcoin comes in the transaction and then they pay Amazon cash, and it's the other company that is the one taking the risk as far as the influx in price or whatever. I don't know. It's all speculation, but if that actually happens, and that's the reason that we took the plunge of, I think that this is something, Becky. If Amazon's willing to do this, I think this is a game changer, and I think we just stumbled across some information that could really help our family in the long run. So there you go. We are looking to just keep a video once a week, probably, that'll just dive into some of the details about Bitcoin. So we hope that you guys follow us, subscribe to the channel, like the channel or whatever, press the thumbs up button. It's our first YouTube video. We are also going to do a Facebook group. So if you are interested, you can go and get involved in that Facebook group to where you can there ask questions. I do have a few resources over the 3 months that I've spent night after night looking into this, that I plan to share with you guys, of kind of trusted resources. We're not looking to push things that are going to, Ponzi schemes. There's a lot of risky things out there with Bitcoin right now. We're not looking to promote things like that. We are just going to try to inform you guys. So thank you so much for watching. Becky, you have any closing thoughts?
Nope. No closing thoughts.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Bye. Cheese. Mm-hmm.